Hello guys, welcome to another session on Python for data science. So today we'll continue with pandas. So in the previous few sessions, basically we had a very brief introduction to pandas, its history. Again, a very brief history. Then we looked at different ways of creating data frames from lists, different ways of creating from dictionary, reading different file formats in pandas, then reading. So we added a sample CSV file. Then we looked at different methods available in Python for summary statistics, for knowing the top few rows, the bottom few rows, for knowing uh, the number of rows and the number of columns in the data frame, knowing the null elements, knowing the data type of each row in data frame, all of that. So today we'll actually move on to one more. Today we'll actually move on to an important topic called lock and ilog. So basically, what is lock and ilog? So lock and ilog basically are used for basically are methods. First one, they are methods. So these methods are used for subsetting a data frame. Okay, so you want to subset a particular data frame. These are the methods. So you can apply row condition, column condition, and subset it. All of that. So first we'll start with ilock. So see the major difference between lock and ilock, right? Only in I. So the basic funda is in ilock. You need to go by indexes. You can't give a suppose you can't give a column name. You can only say I want the second column, I want the third column, or I want the third row, I want the fourth row. But you cannot say I want the column address where some address is so and so. So you can't do that. So that is the job of lock, right? Lock and ilog. That's how they differ. In ilog, you need to specify. You need to specify the index. That's the only major difference. So we'll discuss the syntax, how the syntax works. So just to give you a very brief example, we'll again sort of check the same data frame. This is the head. df.head is there. Now, how do you read that? This is, I suppose I do df.ilog, right? So the first one is basically where you mention the row information. Okay, so what is the next? This thing is you specify the second row. Suppose I want second row all columns. Okay, so this will only give me the two. So two basically mentions I need only the second row. So you can say I want the second row, third column, right? So you're saying only. So we look at 1, 2, 3. Taking the second row, third column is move palace. And one more thing to note is in Python, right? Indexing starts from 0. So it'll always be, so whenever you say 2, it's 0, 1, 2. Technically it's the third row. So don't get confused by the index name. The index might say 2. But so you should know in Python indexing starts from 0. So that is one thing which you need to keep in mind, or you might actually get confused, right? You will not get the actual required value and you might get confused. So that's fine. So next, now we have selected select one value, select element per one value of row and one value of column, right? So you're saying one value of row and one value of column, it will give you that. Now say you want to have multiple values, so not a range. Okay, not range, not like I need from 1 to 10. No, it's not like that. So suppose say you want 1, 3, 5, 7 rows and only second column. How do you do that? So again, it's the idea is fairly straightforward. You do df.ilog. Say you want 1, 3, 5, and 7. So you want you want the indices. All of these 1, 3, 5, 7 are the index values. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 7 indexes, and maybe you want the third column. So the third column, over here, third column is 1, 2, and 3. So you would obviously have this one, and 5, right? Now say suppose you want to get the range of values. So how do you get the range of values is basically you just do df.ilog. So how do you specify the range is you use a semicolon. Again, all of these are inherently similar to your lists, whatever concepts of lists which you would have picked up, right? It's very, very similar. It's very, very similar. The indexing logic and everything is very similar, right? So this is what iloc is. So how do you use one to one, as in one row, one column value, or maybe multiple rows, multiple column values, or a range of values, say from so and so. Say if I need values from 5 to 7, I need values from 4 to 6. Any of that, you just mention the range of those values for which you need output. And so this is iloc. So next we'll actually move on to lock. So lock is basically a shorthand for location based indexing, right? So you need to specify what location, at what location you need values. So let's look at an example. So say suppose in the column county, I need so in this particular column county, yeah, I think we ran a value, right? Okay, so suppose so in this column county, I need all rows which has the value Devon, right? Assume it has a value Devon. So how do you do that? Basically, first of all, write the city, write the county name for which you need values. So Devon is there. Now, which column is it from? It's from column county. It's from column county, right? So yeah, this is a condition. So this one will give you all rows where county column has a value Devon. And since there's no condition on column, so the first condition is always row condition. Okay. In pandas, at least, the first whatever condition you put is always on rows. Maybe after you put a comma over there, you'll put a column condition, but without commas, it's always on the rows. So what happens now is you get all rows where county column has Devon, plus obviously you get all columns as well. Since you haven't put any condition on the columns, right? This thing would come. Now say suppose you do not want all columns. Okay, do not want all columns, but you want only a certain specific column. So you get only values for the column city. Right? You got a condition now, right? The condition now is the first condition is basically, so again, a sort of filtering process, filtering mechanism. So you basically want in the column county all rows where the value Devon is there, plus you want only the column city. You do not want any other column. Just maybe for the sake of confirmation, we can just say we can replace county. So I'm just taking, so yeah, everything is Devon, right? Now say suppose you want to put a sort of, you want to put a or condition. So or condition, how do you want to do is say suppose you are looking at, again we'll stick at Devon only. We'll stick with Devon. So so you're looking at say DF county. So the county should be Devon. Okay. The county should be Devon. This is one or. So this is where I'm giving my second condition. My second condition is say suppose I want city to be I don't know, Parkham, whatever be the value. I'm just putting, since this is a string, right? Since this is a string, you have to put it in this. Since this is a string, you need to put it in these things. So we got an error. Data and object with an array of scalar type bool. Okay. So the basic reason for that is you need to put this in parentheses. So right. Now you basically get these values. So it's the cities. The county is where's the county? Yeah, county is Devon, or the city is Parkham. So it's again a sort of or condition. Okay, so you can replace that with and condition as well. That should not be a problem, right? So this is how So this is how this is. Now say suppose how do you select multiple columns from this side? Suppose you want to have a case where how do you select? You want city, you want the column city, you want the column. So you want only this. So this is how you select multiple columns, right? So just pass the columns value in a list, you will get the output. So the syntax is sort of so it sort of follows a similar syntax. So you say if you want to do a single listing, just put normal values. Do not put it in a list, right? So if you want to select multiple listings, you want to select multiple rows, multiple columns. Remember to pass it in a sort of a data frame. Sorry, remember to pass it in sort of a list. So the list takes care of selecting those multiple things. Okay, so this is what basically I want to discuss on lock and iLock. Fairly simple concepts, but you'll be using this a lot. Okay. Thank you guys. We'll again meet in the next session. We'll discuss further more concepts in Pandas. Thank you guys.